Recently, ladies and gents, Australian radio has been taking a very hard hit. Today on Event, I, Leeway Previs, will be talking about one such event which has pretty much hit the headlines for the best part of 2 weeks. Recently, one of Australia's premier radio stations, Triple J, has been hit very hard by a lot of flack because of its Hottest 100, which was held a few days ago. There's a couple of reasons behind that. The first actually has a bit to do with Triple J revealing in the blurbs for their monthly J-Mag the first place winner of the Hottest 100. Now this actually occurred between the closing of voting and the announcement of the Hottest 100. Now a lot of people took this to be a spoiler, and in fact it was, as was revealed in the countdown. However, it kind of tarnished the Hottest 100 just a little bit, but that was probably the minor of the two events that have hit the Hottest 100 these past couple of weeks. The second one, which is the most major, is the amount of flack which Triple J has received in regards to the music that is not just presented in the Hottest 100, but with the radio station in general. Now, most of these are actually brought about because of the fact that the Hottest 100 is only a small snapshot of the 10,000 plus tracks that Triple J plays every year. However, what's become evident to a lot of hardcore listeners is that the music that's being played on Triple J is now also being played on the commercial stations as well. And what's more is that the Hottest 100 is starting to become a lot more well known throughout not just Triple J circles, but music circles in general. It is the premier countdown, probably next to the ARIA Top 50. Or maybe even superseding the ARIA Top 50. And as a result, there are more commercial radio listeners voting in Triple J's Hottest 100. As you can probably guess, it's getting a little concerning for the dedicated and hardcore Hottest 100 listeners, because there are these people who basically listen to Triple J this one day in the year, that is Australia Day, to listen to what the hottest 100 tracks of the year on Triple J were. And what's more, they're also voting in it as well. And many people are taking that to be as a sign that Triple J is starting to become more like commercial stations, which, like I said before, isn't entirely true. It's actually the other way around. The more commercial stations are starting to play the music of Triple J because, well, it's starting to become a bit more popular now amongst the younger generations. People aren't going for the manufactured pop of the late 90s and the early noughties. It's outdated, it's a bygone era, and this more alternative stuff starts to seep through. Stuff that 10-15 years ago people wouldn't have even dreamed of listening to at the best of times. However, it's also becoming a little bit concerning in the fact that the hardcore Triple J listeners are starting to take this as a slap in the face for them, because they don't think that Triple J music should be played anywhere else, when in actual fact that's probably the most wrong thing to say. As a result, this year's Hottest 100, which contained a lot of tracks that were played on the commercial stations, well, they actually made it through, and like I said, Triple J listeners are taking it very, very badly. And even the band that got the #1 spot, Mumford & Sons, have copped a lot of flack because their song, Little Lion Man, was considered lame by a lot of people, despite the fact that, like I said, it made it to #1 in the countdown. And it's kind of becoming a bit of an indication of just how narrow-minded Triple J listeners are starting to become. I mean, there's Triple J music, or what used to be solely Triple J music, coming out into the mainstream countdowns, and has been, granted, for the past 15 years, but it's coming out in droves this time because of the increased exposure. But, like I said, at the same time, it's become difficult for Triple J hardcore listeners to accept, because Triple J was always considered a niche. What I'm going to get you guys to answer for me is, what do you think of the backlash Triple J has received for this year's Hottest 100? Now, this may be very Australia-centric, but I want everyone the world over to actually answer this question, because while it is an Australian countdown, a lot of people around the world actually listen to it, and usually do every year. Not just Australians, but Americans, French, Japanese, British, and there are a lot more people getting introduced to it. And the Hottest 100 is actually starting to become a very international countdown as a result. So I want everyone's opinion on this one. Now, don't say, I'm going to ask everyone to not say, it was crap, it was all this type of stuff, because in all honesty, I've heard a lot of it. If you're going to answer this question, answer it civilly. I am going to be checking the comments for this one this time, and of course you know the drill. If you want to suggest a topic for discussion, just click this box here. Yes, I'm actually putting the boxes in the videos this time, so just click this box here, and I will discuss it on the program. If you want to keep up to date with these videos, subscribe button up in the top. I'm Leeway Previs, and this is Vet. Talk to you all soon.